Something that might have totally passed your thoughts is that the circus members took years to complete the first adventure/quest in the amazing digital circus. Let's take a look at it. We know that Caine and the circus members have been in the circus for years.
Well, don't freak out about it or anything, but, we don't exactly...
You can't.
What?
Shut up, Jax. But, yeah, he's right. Welcome to your new home. And your new body.
A new home? What do you mean?
Guys, don't be mean.
We've been stuck here for years. Old Kinger over there's supposedly been here the longest.
But by their behavior, I don't even think that the circus members knew that the Gloink Queen was a boss, rather just someone living underground. Well, the question is, why did it take so long before the Gloink Queen was defeated? I might have a couple theories on this. At the start of episode 1, we see Pomni arriving in the amazing digital circus. And of course, she's all over the place since it's a whole new environment, has no recollection of her memories, and she has just been dragged around the circus by Caine all over the place.
We stay right here, where I can keep my hundreds of all-seeing eyes on you.
Hello, Caine. I love you.
Let's get out of here before the moon gets frisky.
Wait, what's that?
And after all the chaos, she gets her name, but this is where the interesting thing happened. Because after she gets her name, Caine says, we should have a brand new adventure for our new member, Pomni.
We should have a brand new adventure for our new member, Pomni!
And this is actually where I get into my first theory of the video. I think that Caine has planned this for a very long time. But what is it that Caine has planned? The whole roadmap for the adventures in the digital circus. He specifically needed Pomni to enter the circus first before all the adventures could start. The reason I believe that he waited for Pomni is simply because she has some mystery gifts that could be of use in future adventures. So before she arrived and Kaufmo abstracted, I believe the circus members then had some of their own adventures, but nothing of these sorts. Kaufmo was probably the male version of Pomni. I think he also came to the circus just like how Pomni did, dragged all over the place and just being given a very rumbly start. And that is when Caine started his adventure series. So that means we are simply seeing the same stuff happening again. And this is where you probably say that the circus members would have said something if that were true. Well, would you? If you were in the digital circus, stayed in there for years and been completing adventures upon adventures, and then one of your friends abstracted, but a new member came and it all started over again. Would you actually notice all of this? I don't think you would, so the circus members didn't really notice that. But how does Pomni cause a significant change? I believe while the circus members then completed levels after levels, Caine builds something that they had no clue about. That something is actually the massive adventures just like we see in episode 2.
Jax!
Ah, that's perfect. Just hold that pose. I gotta get something.
Jax, you...
You know, I swear there was some kind of bazooka back here, but I'm having such trouble finding it.
Pomni, take this!
The Candy Carrier Chaos, something that scales way beyond something that Jax, Ragatha, Kinga, Zooble, and Gangle has ever tried. But doesn't all this leave their past adventures out of the equation? No. I think that Caine's plan was never to really show the circus members about the new adventures, because he knew that Pomni would one day arrive in the circus. Because, think about it, if Caine has all the powers in the amazing digital circus, wouldn't he then know when and why Pomni would arrive? The reason for everyone's arrival was because they took their headsets on, then, magically, they got transported into the digital circus.
What's going on? I put on some weird headset and now I'm here. Who are you people? Why can't I take it off? Where am I?
So he definitely planned all of this to happen. Those adventures that the old circus members had were just something that Caine made so they wouldn't go crazy and abstract. They didn't have any special meaning, unlike what I think with the current and upcoming adventures. I think the Gloink Queen has been down in the cellar level for quite some time and was actually sitting there casually a little while before Pomni arrived, meaning that all the circus members didn't really think of the Gloink Queen as an enemy/boss, but just some random NPC that Caine added because it looked nice to have within the digital circus. But this actually leads me into my second theory, which is that Caine is preparing many new adventures that might potentially lead the circus members out of the game. But this is not going to be something easy. I think Caine has a massive plan that he wants to execute. I believe in every adventure there is to come, the adventure gets more difficult as they progress. In the second episode, it didn't really seem to be that difficult. since Caine didn't think that they would even reach that far to begin with. In his mind, they would have defeated Gummigoo with ease, since they had a literal shotgun with them, and Gummigoo, Max and Chad had knives made out of candy.
All right, Gangle. When we catch up to him, I'll jump over, crawl inside, and shoot him repeatedly until they're unrecognizable.
I feel like that violates some kind of convention.
You're violating my ears with your clapback. Get driving, driver.
But everything changed drastically when Gummigoo and Pomni fell down into the back rooms. Gummigoo, who's an AI, got an insight to who he really is, and even got information about the outside world, in other words, the real world. And this will change every upcoming adventure. I actually made a theory about Gummigoo returning to TADC, so check it out after finishing this one, because him discovering the back rooms and even getting information about the real world will change everything that Caine had planned for the upcoming adventures. Well, as the adventures gets more and more difficult, I also think that some of these bosses will team up with the circus members, but without Caine knowing. They might just finish the adventure and call it wraps, but somehow I just believe that something will happen. And in the season finale, episode 9, we will see an epic fight between the circus members and Caine. But my last theory connects with my first two, because I believe Pomni might have changed everything when she arrived in the amazing digital circus. In my first theory, I did say that Caine was waiting for her arrival so that he could push out the adventures to them one by one, because Pomni might have some special gifts. I'm not talking about superpowers or anything like it. I just mean that her personality is something that can be used, but used how? Well, used in a way to convince people. In episode 2, after Gummigoo fell into the back rooms and saw himself, we saw Pomni have a change of heart and actually wanted Gummigoo to feel like he's something and not just an obstacle that is meant to be defeated and forgotten.
We're just obstacles, created to be defeated and forgotten.
Well, you don't have to be. The circus, the place I'm from, well, I'm originally from somewhere else. But if it has to be my home, maybe it can be yours too.
You could also say that Ragatha might be a better character for this. But think about it again. She sees the positive things in people and is generally optimistic about stuff. Then we got Pomni, who sees the reality for what it is. She doesn't sugarcoat stuff like the other circus members. All those that comes into contact with Pomni can relate to her and actually change because she isn't overly optimistic and isn't a rude person. In the very end of the amazing digital circus, I think Caine actually wants us to learn a lesson in life. But I could be completely wrong since it's a pretty dark cartoon show. But after the circus members complete every single level, they will have spent so much time together and grown with each other that the individual's flaws don't really matter. At the end of episode 2, we see that Pomni sees the circus members as family. She knows that they won't leave her, and that is also a reason that she won't leave them if a magical exit door appeared out of nowhere. But those were my theories. Let me know down below in the comments what you think and if you have some theories yourself. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and click on this video here.